Six here, just doing a video on different options for people who are blue collar people that can afford, $1,000 for a rifle or a shotgun. So I'm going to talk about shotguns and rifles that you could purchase for $500 at an affordable price. And I'm also going to tell you the options with each, both rifle and shotgun. Now, uh, starting with rifle, the three products I would think about purchasing is the Savage Access, the Ruger American, and the Mossberg Patriot for $500. Okay, so those are the three rifles I would go to the store, take a look at. Okay, now uh, first thing when you do go look at rifles and stuff, you have to know what caliber you're looking for and what game you want to hunt for to decide on what caliber you want to hunt. Now, me personally, to play it safe, if you're the type of person who just want to hunt anywhere from deer to moose, I would go with a 30-06, 308, 7 millimeter, just to mention three off the top of my head. Okay, those are safe choices if you want to be able to be versatile in hunting all the big game animals that there is to hunt in North America. Now this is a 30-06. This is what I use. Okay, I took down two moose with this caliber 30-06 with this Savage Access right here. Great choice. Can't go wrong. 308. If you were to put a 308 cartridge right beside that, you can't really even tell the difference. There's very subtle differences between the two. Okay, in size. So that's what you got to do too, is decide what caliber you want to hunt with. So those are three just to mention to help you start if you want to be versatile and what big game you're hunting. Okay, so now to talk about the different products. Okay, I went and decided on this rifle here. Okay, and the reason why my three choices I decided to go with them first off is because they're bolt action. I mean, you can go with other actions like lever, hinge action, stuff like that, or semi-automatic. But the thing is, the most accurate action you can purchase is a bolt action rifle. That's why you see snipers and using bolt action rifle, because they're more accurate. Okay, so that's why I go with bolt action. That's just a preference thing. So all the rifles I'm mentioning today, they're all bolt action. All right. Now, when I went shopping, it was between the Ruger American and the Savage Access. The Mossberg Patriot wasn't out yet. So those are the two I was looking at. So I'm going to tell you about the comparisons I found with those two first off. And then I'll tell you about the great things about the Mossberg Patriot that I've read online. Okay. So when I went shopping and looking at the two rifles, okay, the one thing that made me go with this rifle over the Ruger American, okay, was that the bolt in this one is machined a lot better. So when the bolt was machined a lot better, the action was a lot smoother. Like when I cycle this bolt, it's a lot smoother. It just flows, okay? So if you're shooting off a lot of cartridges in a row trying to put an animal down, you want that to be just, second nature and just flow, right? So when I looked at the Ruger American, it wasn't this smooth. It didn't flow like this. You had to fight with it a little bit, and it made this noise when you cycled the bolt. It almost sounded like if you were sharpening a knife. And that was because that bolt there is not machined as nicely as this one. It's a bit more rougher, so there's more friction when you're cycling that bolt. But the bolt itself, if it was machined better, it would be a really nice bolt. I mean, it does have a nice features, but that's where Ruger American came short with that rifle, was not machining the bolt enough. The other thing that got me to go with this Savage Access over the Ruger American was the safety. This safety here, even though that's kind of loud, the Ruger American safety was actually louder. Okay, so if you're out in the field and you're hunting, you want to be as quiet as possible. So that was the other thing that got me to go with the Savage Axis. Now, the barrels, there are two different types of barrels that they have, okay? Two different style barrels, but they're both the same in accuracy. So, I mean, that I gave as a tie. This barrel here seemed a little bit more robust than the other one, but not much, okay? The butt stocks on both rifles. This one here wasn't as soft as the other one, so that one there, I think Ruger American, the butt plate was a little bit more softer. Um, what I like about Savage Access, a lot of the components in this one here, this magazine, sorry, is metal, and then it's polymer on the bottom. Where in the Ruger American, it's all plastic, but in the Ruger American, the magazine actually feeds in a lot better than it does on this one. Not a lot better, but a little bit better. But this one actually comes out a lot easier. So, I mean, it's a 50-50 thing, but this seems more robust and solid. The other thing I have to say with the stock on the outside, the stock quality, I would say is about the same. But if you do your research, you find out about the bedding of the two stocks. The bedding in the Ruger American is better than it is in the Savage Access. So that's something to think about. So, I mean, that does help with accuracy, having better bedding in the stock. But the thing is, you can buy a more better stock and replace this one and do glass bedding with these rifles and do trigger work and get a nice scope. And instead of it being a 300-yard rifle, it could be a 1,000-yard rifle. Because if you get a better stock, I mean, with the hardware that's with this rifle, it's endless what you can do with these guys. I mean, for a 1,000-yard shot, that's amazing with a $500 budget rifle. So the other thing I have to give to Ruger American was the trigger. Trigger was a bit better on that one than this one. But now the new Savage Axes, the Axis 2, they have what's called the Accu trigger, which is pretty comparable, or if not better. Now, the Mossberg Patriot. Now, this one here, if I was hunting for a rifle today, would be the first one I would be looking at, because it comes with a fluted barrel and bolt, and it comes with an adjustable trigger from 2 to 7 pounds. I mean, these are features you would have on a $1,000 rifle and not on a $500 rifle. The polymer is great on that rifle. The barrel is really good construction, and from what I've been reading, and it's offering numerous calibers as well. The thing is, though, with the Ruger American and the Mossberg Patriot, you're not getting a scope with it. This rifle here, the Savage Axis, you do get a scope. Mind you, it is low end, so this is for people that are on a tight budget that can't afford to put a scope on and all this. The $500, and that's all they can afford. Then Savage Axis is a nice option, because you can go with that scope for your first year of hunting and then save up for a better scope later on. The scopes I recommend, if you can get your hands on it, is the Nikon Pro Staff, or the ones that are more easier to get is the Leopolds or the Vortexes. They're the three best scopes, best bang for your buck. Okay, so I went with the Nikon Pro Staff. Have no issues, beautiful glass. With this rifle and scope, I've taken down 2 moose with 30-06. They take 3 steps and they drop. I had no issues. The accuracy is amazing with this rifle out of the box. All 3 rifles out of the box easily are 300-yard rifles. Okay, so those are my choices for you for a rifle. Now, moving on to shotgun. Shotguns I would choose is the Remington 870, if you can still get it. Okay, it's might be hard because Remington went out of business apparently. I'm sure stores still have them in stock, so if you can get them, they're great. The way construction is on the Remington 87, it's a solid piece of steel. Only thing that's polymer is the stock, okay? The chassis and the barrel is solid steel. Very robust shotgun. Action's nice, accuracy is good. Interchangeable barrels from 18 inches. There's 21, 24, 26, and 28-inch barrels. Okay. Now, for hunting, I suggest going with 26 and 28-inch barrels. Okay. Now, that goes the same for Benelli Nova and Mossberg 500 for the barrel sizes. Now, the construction of the Mossberg 500, it is a aluminum alloy stock, chassis on it. Same thing with a polymer stock. It's blue steel barrel, which is nice. Very beautiful shotgun, very robust. Both shotguns are used by police and military everywhere, time proven. Now, with that one as well, same barrel sizes. All three shotguns I'm talking about are pump action. Okay, so what happens is you put shells in here, you feed them in, and then the chamber around, a shell. Cock this back, chamber around, take the safety off, verify your target, and pull the trigger. Okay, so that's a pump action shotgun. All three of them are. Now the Benelli Nova is one-piece reinforced steel polymer, which is great. A great frame as well. You can't go wrong with that. It's very robust and strong. Take a lot of reviews. Of course, you know, Benelli, it's Italian. It's a good quality shotgun. Can't go wrong. That one there is, you know, another one I would look at. Now, all three of these shotguns, you can either go up to 3-inch shells, or you can get up to 3.5-inch shells with these shotguns. So, for example, if you went with Remington and you just went with the Express, the biggest shell you could put into is 3-inch. But if you went with the Express Super Mag, you can get a 3.5-inch shell. So the advantages of, you know, going from 3 to 3.5-inch, in my biggest opinion, is if you're bird hunting and you want that extra 10 yards to be able to shoot birds, that's what that will give you, is an extra 10 to 20 yards of distance shooting bird shot. So that's a big plus. So usually when people hunt for birds, it's at 40 yards. This will allow you to go to 50, maybe even 60 yards. Now, what the great thing about shotguns are, okay, and this is for people that want to hunt birds and big game and so on and so forth, but you can't afford to buy more than one rifle or shotgun, I would go buy a shotgun first, okay? Reason being is because a shotgun is the most versatile gun in the world that you could purchase. You can hunt anywhere, anything from grouse all the way up to moose. And all you have to do in that regard, if you want to change it up, I'm going to give you an example. See at the end of my barrel there, right there, that's an internal choke, okay? And how that works is, you see those notches there, okay? To change that, all you have to do is take this, put it in those notches and screw it out, okay? So with that choke that's in there, it's called a modified choke. With that choke and this shell, which is called a slug, there's also double-eyed buck, but you don't get as much distance with them. With that slug, I can shoot up to, like, in my opinion, with accuracy, about 100 yards, okay? And you can kill anything from, like, deer to moose with that. Now, say, you know, then you later on, say in the spring, you want to go turkey hunting. So I would take this tool, unscrew that out, okay? Take this choke, which is called a turkey extended choke, And because it's an extended choke, where it's grooved here, that all goes inside, and then from the outside I'm still able to screw this in by hand, so I don't need a tool for that. So that goes in there, and then you use like what's called a turkey shell, which if you look in here, it's all sealed up. Inside here is all little small pellets with a wad behind it that pushes it out from the gunpowder. And what this choke does is, because it's more condensed, it's able to push the pellets out this way, because if you kept on using the modified choke, the pellets will go this way. So it's kind of like if you were using a garden hose, you put your thumb on top, you could press the water, and then it sprays further. It's the same kind of idea with this choke, with birdshot. So all those shotguns, you could do the same thing. The Mossberg 500, Benelli Nova, you have all the same options that way, okay? Now, the one thing I did like about the Mossberg 500, the barrel is blue steel, okay, which is nice. But what I like about the Remington is that, it's solid steel chassis made from solid steel. Now, what's nice about the Mossberg 500 and the Remington 870, there's a lot of options. You can build up your shotgun. So when you get these shotguns, only thing you have the sight in usually is a bead sight in the front. So the cheap way to upgrade your sights to have rear and front sights is these magnets you put on top of the barrel. See here? There's a rear sight and a front sight. The rear one's green, the front one's red, and it glows, okay? Now, if you want to upgrade to something better, you can get what's called a saddle mount, both for Mossberg 500 and Remington 870, okay? So without having to get a gunsmith to machine your gun, all you do is you go to Amazon, buy one of these. It gets sent to you. Take the screws out here. If you see these screws, take them out. You put this on, you slap this on. Then you get screws that comes in the package. You screw it back into the frame. It locks into the frame. So you get a Pickney rail, and then you get able to mount in like a red dot or a scope. So in my opinion, because it's a 100 and less gun, I wouldn't go with scope. I would go for the quick acquisition when you go for going for turkey and duck, because really you don't need the magnification with a 100-yard gun. Now, if you were getting a rifle or something with over 100 yards, then that's when you go with the scope. So that's what I mounted on here, was a red dot for the quick acquisition for when I go turkey and duck hunting. It comes in handy. And those are your options. So, those are the three products I would recommend. That's how things work with shotgun and rifle. And if you are really in a pinch and you want to hunt several things, buy a shotgun and needed some information to make a decision. I've been there before. I know how it is. It just takes some time and you figure things out. And once you get going, it's a lot of fun. So it's LRock 30-06 over and out.